21 years have passed. It seems like such a long time. Some of the children that were born that year are now entering their senior year in college, just to give you some perspective. But to those of us that were there that day, it is forever seared in our memories.
September 11th is also a day to reflect upon the meaning of service and courage as exemplified by first responders and those that came to the site in the days following the attack in search for survivors.
And after the crises of these past few years, those reflections seem especially poignant, as we have seen again how important acts of selfless courage, fortitude, compassion, and grace are in our lives. Many of our fellow citizens have done and continue to do what is necessary to help us through difficult times, often at great risk to themselves.
This year we added 25 names, not an insignificant number for our county, and it really just goes to show how many people from Westchester were selfless in their acts of rushing into danger.
We gather today with a complexity of emotions. We continue to remember and grieve those who died in this tragedy, the people in the buildings, the first responders who persevered to find and rescue people, for those in the airplane, for all who died in connection to 9/11.
21 years later, what is it that we must remember? Let us remember the response of so very many, the unconditional kindness that made us all one human family.
There will always be somebody there looking to help. There will always be people there with compassion, and there will always be people there whose love is stronger than the hate of others.
We're tied together. We do so much to try to differentiate ourselves by these different factors. And that doesn't mean we shouldn't have free speech. You should have free speech. Doesn't mean we shouldn't disagree. We should disagree. That's American. But underneath it, an acknowledgement that we are all together as human beings.
And I would be remiss not to mention ex-Chief Frank Chiaffi, who we lost last month. Frank was a 43-year member of the Town of Mamaroneck Fire Department and a founding member of VAC. He was the TMFD safety officer on 9/11 and was an integral part of the town's response to Ground Zero.
Helen Bilalowski, J. Howard Bolton Jr., Douglas G. Karpiloff, Maurice P. Kelly, Helen Crossan Kittle, Patricia Helen Kittle.
Frank J. Kestner, Edward H. Luckett, John T. McErlane Jr., Christopher T. Orgilowitz, John A. Rayo, John F. Swain.
And to the first responders, police, fire, and ambulance. I want to thank you all from the bottom of my heart, and you are all in my heart, for your bravery and commitment to protecting us on that day and every day. So